Ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of Caribbean Current TV with the 2BCaribbean.com platform. And I want to say once again, big respect to everybody out there who just loves Caribbean culture, supports Caribbean culture, and keeps on pushing Caribbean culture. Today, we have an exciting lineup as we talk about one of the most important moments in the year. That's International Reggae Month. And I have two ladies who, for, I guess, a very long period of my life, I have looked up to because of their great contributions to reggae, to culture, to Jamaica, to the world in general. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Andrea Davis and the superstar Rika. Ladies and gentlemen, these ladies are just the amazing, the top of top, what we are talking about when we say Jamaica excellence. Andrea Davis, inspirational speaker, organizer, founder, been on every aspect of the business, almost every aspect of the culture, just leading us in directions that we need to go. Rika, the big voice, as you know, part of the royal history of reggae music, an amazing singer, a wonderful lady, traveled the world, pushing our music and showing love to everybody. You know what? I'm going to let the ladies introduce themselves and then we get going. Miss Davis.
Okay. Hi, I'm Andrea Davis. I'm the founder and producer of International Reggae Day.
And a little bit about your background, what you've done, what you've connected.
Oh gosh. Like you said, I've been involved in the business for many, many decades. Beginning first as a journalist and a photographer, and as a fan, and then moving through as artist manager, booking agent, event producer. And then as a consultant with the government of Jamaica, as well as the United Nations on the development of entertainment policy, copyright, creative industries policies, and the like. So I've worked in music, film, art, fashion, you name it, in the creatives. And that's been my passion for the last 30 years.
And of course, the big voice who had just been an amazing, melodious addition to the world with love. And the first day of Reggae Month, the 1st of February, she shares that as her birthday, along with the Crown Prince of Reggae, Dennis Brown. Rika, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Greetings, my name is Rika Newell from Kingston, Jamaica. Singer, songwriter, performer. Been singing for years. Most of you might know me singing with Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers. Also, Sir Raga, Stephen, again, Ragamuffin Marley. Oi, I'm just kidding. But yeah, just love reggae and, toured for a while and just love it. Just reggae is my life, right?
Reggae is her life. What a quote.
One of the things. Yeah, that's deep. Yeah. Yeah, that's deep.
So right off the bat, Empress Davis. The first question, which is for both ladies actually, but start with Empress Davis. As we look at February being Reggae Month, Empress Davis, what is your perspective on the impact of reggae on the world?
Oh, wow. Reggae is the first true global beat, world beat. It is the genre that has not only established itself in the four corners of the world long before the internet and long before music videos. Mm-hmm. But it has done so in a way that not only influenced music culture, but it has also influenced global culture. And beyond entertainment, it has impacted society. It has influenced change. It has been a voice for the voiceless and a soundtrack for the global resistance, that has echoed the words from Bob Marley and Haile Selassie to the inspiration for what is happening in our time now in terms of movements like Black Lives Matter. So reggae music is love, and reggae music is like water. It mixes well with any other kind of music if you do it right. And so it is a connective tissue to humanity right now that I think not only has played an important role in its history, but has an important role to play in its future.
Thank you, Empress Davis. Rika, from your perspective, especially as somebody who has performed on many of these songs that have gone all around the world, and you have toured, of course, around the world with this music, what's your perspective on the impact of reggae on the world?
Oh, it's made a big impact and still does. I myself growing up in Jamaica, wasn't even allowed to listen to reggae. I used to have to sneak and
Crazy.
listen to it. I literally would have to. Yeah, I couldn't even play it in my house. And it's not until like I started touring, I saw how vast of an impact it made on the world. I don't know if I told you the story. We went to Namibia for their independence from South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you know, because I've known Sidel and them since high school, you know what I mean? And it's just always friend, sister, just always joy. And they're grounded people. They're humble. You know what I mean? They do it for the love, not hype. Andrea knows, you know? But anyway, so it's always just fun and laugh. Donna, you know, we're always laughing as kids. So it's always fun. When I really saw how much of an impact it made, we were, like I said, in Namibia for their independence, and we're singing at the stadium. I was walking out of the dressing room with Ziggy, and this old man walked up to us. He was on some kind of homemade crutches. Sorry, I don't have corona, don't worry. I get it.
No,
But
you
so
didn't.
anyway, no, this is it. Like, this man walked up to us on his crutches. I think he had one, so he was kind of limping his way over. And he said, Ziggy, I've seen you, now I could die.
Wow.
Man, I was like, whoa. That, you know, and then that's when I understood that this thing was really special, you know? And it will live on forever.
Yeah.
Big respect, big respect. Okay, so you know, and you've of course spoke about these important moments in history. You know, when it comes to reggae people, you know, Polish independence, ending of apartheid in South Africa, the reason why Jamaica was the first place Mandela came, Zimbabwe, Namibia, spoken here in this conversation. So that's a conversation about the past. I've been blessed I've been blessed to hear you guys talk about now and the way we should deal with things and moving forward in the future. Now, you see Black Lives Matter, we see the internet, we see the impact of COVID. In your opinion, guys, how do you see reggae moving forward? How do you see reggae being able to impact, you know, all these things that are moving the world? Empress, well, Rika, you raised your hand. Did you want to come in on that?
I didn't. No.
Go ahead.
You said, how do we see reggae impacting the world?
With the way it is now, with the way things are now, and of course what's happening now, coronavirus, Black Lives Matter, and the internet world, which wasn't the case back in the 70s when this thing went international originally.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of people are home now, and it's a blessing to a lot of people. I myself am, you know, learning about more artists that I didn't know of before. You know, a lot of people are on the internet, and it's really healing, especially the strong message, you know.
And timely.
Well,
Empress,
I think,
Empress Davis.
yeah, I think we're in a transformative time in human history. And just as we're experiencing a 100-year cycle in terms of a pandemic, that have moved to this space of reconciliation about the history and the future of not only countries like the United States, but I think these are the questions of racial equality are being asked around the world as evidence of support for the BLM movement last summer. And I think reggae music, as it has always been, a voice for oppression, a voice advocating for equality, for justice, for equal rights, for those principles for which reggae has been elevated in the world of music as just not a sound but a message.
Mm-hmm.
I think the transition we're making into this virtual space, which we have been talking to for Reggae Day for years. We've always been a festival that's been aiming to parallel the physical activity with the virtual activity. But through the pandemic, we as a world have been pushed forcefully into that space now, with schools being online and everybody being forced to be locked down with more time on the hand. But ultimately, content is king. It was before the pandemic, it will be after the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And we as creatives, we as a creative nation, have a lot to continue to work for in the future in terms of providing our culture to the world, because obviously we have demonstrated that the world not only wants our culture, they need reggae music. It's like medicine for the soul, and music in general, but particularly our music and our culture. And I think it's going to be for us as creatives and the community and the reggae community worldwide to continue to bond together over in this with this culture, and to build new bridges so that we can continue to expand the presence of the music. I mean, Erica and Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers and all of the reggae ambassadors for generations have done the footwork. They have gone out on those stages night after night around the world, spreading the gospel of reggae music and spreading the love and the principles and teachings of Rastafari, which is at the heart of reggae music, social consciousness. But now we're in a transition point in the industry, not just our industry, but every industry. And how do we reinvent ourselves in this new augmented reality of both physical and virtual presence? And I think that's for us as creatives, not only a challenge, but an opportunity.
I've seen like lately, you know, a lot of people on Clubhouse. I just joined Clubhouse like a week and a half ago, and it's
about Clubhouse too. Mm-hmm.
Literally, you should get on, sis. It's like, it's just a blessing to hear the different aspects of reggae and everybody just coming together in unity and just, you know, just brainstorming, and it's so refreshing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You know,
can you imagine Empress? Sorry.
So I think that collaborative spirit is key for our survival, because it has been the key to our genius. You know, if you look at the early music that has continued to sustain Jamaican music in the marketplace, you know, you look at work of coming out of places like Studio One, or even out of the work of Bob Marley. It was not a single person in the room that made it. It was the collective effort of all the creatives that came together, you know. Musicians, the producers, the engineers, the sound that we make in Jamaica, that thing that we are. It is organic in us, but it also, as Bob did say, people can do it, but it's not the do it, it's the feel. And that feel is a heart connection.
Yeah, man, you feel it. You feel it. You feel it.
That's not notes on a page.
It runs through your, like, it runs through your system. I mean, you just definitely, it's a feel, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I could keep on talking to you guys all day long. I cannot imagine what's going to happen when Empress Davis go up on Clubhouse, like 10,000 people in one room for the listener.
I'm going to be following her because she's so knowledgeable. You know what I mean? And her presence is just, I just feel the great energy just talking to you, Angie.
It's not just the knowledge, you know. It's not just the knowledge, you know. It's the fact that she's innovative with the knowledge. She looks at
but she's so, her spirit, her energy, she's so giving, and it's just from the heart. You feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I have felt your talent, so I would tell you publicly, this is one of the best voices in reggae music. Erica.
Wow.
One of the
Give thanks.
You're on a very short list of great female vocalists.
Wow. I give thanks, you know. Give
facts.
thanks.
Facts, and I'm not talking the machine either.
Oh, yo.
One more.
The pressure.
Real
Right.
Yeah,
I
man.
give thanks, but
they fit on one hand. That's how short the list is.
Well, you know, though, I tell you, I'm grateful and I give thanks, but I am so, like, especially on Clubhouse now, there's so many young sisterins up and coming, and I like the fact that they own the fact that they're doing it and brainstorming. So, you know what I mean? I know when I was coming up, Lord, it was so taboo to even be singing reggae. It was a fight for me, to be honest.
And you were one of the few big voices in the game, because at that time, a lot of the producers were looking for the soft, no disrespect to the sisters, you know, who have that voice, but that JC Lodge kind of voice that was more, you know, romantic and rated. But so when the big booming, you know, Erica and Chevelle and Diane and those came out, was a difference in the music, but for me that was power, and I think these ladies of that generation laid the groundwork for this generation of women now. You know, like Erica, I'm really happy. When I came in, there were very few women on the other side of the mic in the game, just as there were very few women except for certain positions before the mic. But now you have this explosion of young talent, of you know, dynamic female artists, from Lila Ike to Coffee to Savannah to Jazzy. There's so many of them. I'm really, really hopeful in their talent. that
Yes.
change we need in the music, that new breath of air we need to kind of bring
Right.
reggae into the space in a different way
Right.
is going to come through the wings of these angels.
And I
Just
love
as
the unity amongst them too. You know, it's
uh,
just so
well, that was,
refreshing.
I would say for this generation, both the male and females, it is a return to where we were in the '60s in terms of that collaboration, that spirit I see between the, Protege and Chronix and Janine and
Right.
that whole. I call them the Renaissance. I don't call them revival because to revive would mean that something was dead, and I've never believed reggae died. So
Never.
for me, it
Never.
was a renaissance in the music that came with this generation of artists, and it's going to do, it has done a lot and will continue to do a lot to ensure that we are viable and we are relevant and we are consistently present in the market for the next 50 years plus.
Excellent point. Ladies, I want to thank you for the blessings that you're giving us here with all these nuggets, all this knowledge, all this perspective. This has gone a little bit longer than I even planned. That being said, closing out, if you would mind telling us, Empress Davis, International Reggae Day 2021, and Rika, music coming up. Let's start with Empress
Yes,
Davis.
I've been quietly working on my little thing, quietly. Nothing to talk about yet. Yeah, man. Yes. I've had my little studio going on here, doing my little thing quietly, Yeah, but give thanks, man. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But it's good to have it right before,
Yeah, definitely. Well, July 1, International Reggae Day. So every day is Reggae Day. But in 1994, we decided with the inspiration that came from only God could tell, to have a day that would recognize reggae worldwide. And I can say that it has been the blueprint, because when we started, there was no other celebration of this kind. There was not only for reggae, for any day. There's now been a plethora of days all over the world. And out of that blueprint came Reggae Month. And as we continue to evolve, when we first came, there was nothing happening. So both the domestic agenda as well as the international agenda was something we were trying to address. Now that there's Reggae Month, that gives us a little more breathing room in terms of the domestic agenda, and then allows us to begin to forge the other part of the blueprint, which is about connecting that global audience of the 100 million people we're trying to reach on July 1.
100 million people.
We've been talking about virtual for years. So last year with the pandemic, we finally were able to do a more tangible 24-hour virtual celebration, and we had performances from Africa to Brazil, from US to Japan, and we have been over the years having events from New Zealand to Beijing, and we'll continue to build on that network. We'll be announcing our theme at the end of Reggae Month for this year, and we look forward to developing a fantastic menu of special content for July 1 with our media partners around the world, as well as all the artists fraternity who are a part of this global movement for promoting One Love.
One Love. That's a good 2 words to end on. Well, I want to thank you so much. Before I go, how can we catch you guys online, social media, so on?
Well, ireggaeday.com or ireggaeday on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
iReggae.
You got that?
Yes.
iReggae. Yeah. International Reggae Day.
Rika?
Check it out. Rika Noel at Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter it's at Erica Noel. But everything else is Rika.
Who's Erica Noel? That being said, this is Jason Skywalker.
No, what happened? I only did my, what's it called? You're so tired, long day. But I only did my website thing for 1 year. I forgot to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when I went to do it, that 1,050. And then after that, I found out there are so many Erica Noels. And then one of them kind of on Facebook telling a fan to send them money and so Mrs. Marley always used to call me Rika. So I had to just come up with a name quick. Literally. She calls me Rika. Ziggy call me Rika. Yeah. So I just used Rika, Rika Noel.
Royalty speaks. Ladies, I want to thank you very much for supporting Caribbean Current TV with 2bcaribbean.com. And I thank you guys for everything that you do for the culture, for Jamaica, for reggae, for the world. This is Jason Skywalker with Caribbean Current TV, totally geeking out right about now with the ladies here. And I thank you all for supporting us. And we'll keep on doing our thing and supporting the culture.
Before you go, I want to thank you, Jason, for all
Yes.
the work you have done. Not only in Atlanta, but people in Atlanta. He was doing a lot of work in Jamaica before he leave home. And we want to thank you for always putting the best foot forward as a journalist, as a professional, and about doing it right. You know, that makes a big difference. Big difference you're making. Thank you.
And you, well, you've been an inspiration from the day I met you. From the day I met you. I remember you years ago. I'm thinking right now, you kept telling me you have to learn the business. I think you bought me that book, This Business of Music.
Me?
You don't even remember? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All you need to know about music.
From Miami. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
great to know you and give thanks for your works, you know, because we all make it happen. I'm notorious for thanking the custodian, like, you know, in an arena with 15,000 people. I'm just one of, because we all, you know, we all make it happen. So
Have a
give thanks.
Yeah.
And if I could get a shot off a smile with everyone after 3, 1, 2, 3, teeth. Jason, I need to see your teeth. Okay, ready?
All right.
Thank you, everybody. And this is another episode of Caribbean Current TV.